So I'm with Elliot Hughes this evening. Elliot's from a company called Highbridge Homes. So huge thanks for you joining me. You've been on my panels already. You're coming on my panel next Tuesday morning, which is a build to let panel, and that's one of the key topics at the moment. Elliot, tell me about yourself.
About myself?
In terms of property.
In terms of property, so I entered the property market about 4 or 5 years ago. Previously that I was an officer in the Royal Navy for a couple of years. Wasn't really my thing. Huge experiences, massive life lessons. Very grateful I did it. And kind of fell into a bit of a job for a bit while I was kind of like learning about property and dipping my toe in the water. And didn't really do that well at school, that sort of thing. Quite heavily dyslexic, so that's why I kind of ran down the armed forces route, but it didn't work out. So then I kind of started dipping my toe into the property market, and then I set up this kind of like 6-month plan to leave my job and kind of ease myself into property full time. And a month into that, I lost my job. So that was the end of that. And I just kind of thought, it's either now or never, and if I try and get back into another job, what am I really working towards? It's not really what I want to do. So, that was kind of a bit of a tough period, because, I wasn't able to kind of build up the savings that I wanted. But, battled through it and, obviously doing all right now. So, it was a bit of a tough battle to get.
When you say doing all right now, so what are you doing now? You've come back tonight from Northern England.
Yeah.
And you're working on what type of project are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on a block of 9 flats, a block of 14 flats, a block of 3, a block of 4, a plot of land, and we've just bought a hotel that we're actually going to run as a hotel. We're going to get a small bit of development out of it. We're going to take part of the hotel that isn't in such good condition. We're going to turn that into 5 serviced flats instead. So we can offer two slightly different things to the market. So, there's the hotel, but then there's also the serviced bit as well, which are very similar, but offer slightly different things. And there's a separate building on the land as well, which is a public gym, so we're running that as well. So that's kind of a bit of a new venture, which is also quite exciting, but it kind of helps towards my kind of cash flow part of the strategy, because it's all good, it's all very well and good having these these developments, but a lot of them don't pay out for at least 12 months, 18 months realistically. So it's good to have some kind of additional cash flow in the background as well. And while I kind of mentioned that, how I did actually start out was in student and professional HMOs, which kind of pays my salary, which frees up my time to be able to go after these developments.
Okay. So you look at quite a wide spectrum from HMO all the way through to developer land and so forth. So you must use lots of different software as well. So yeah. What's most valuable to you in terms of software? What software do you use? Do you use an accountancy package or CRM package or developer package? What packages do you find most useful?
Most useful, I'd have to say, is probably Xero, our accountancy package. Without that, we would not have a clue where we're going. And I've got quite a few Xero accounts for each company. The thing's great. Alongside that, the other thing that's probably equally as important is our serviced accommodation / kind of hotel management software, which is called, I can never say it right, Avivo.
Yeah.
That one. That thing's brilliant. We were using some other software, but very quickly worked out that it just wasn't working quite that well. Moved over to Avivo. It's invaluable if you want to systemize your business, because we can take payments. It's integrated with a payment gateway, so we can take payments online without the person being there with their card. So it avoids all this cancellation nonsense, like no shows and everything like that. And people are forced to adhere to our cancellation policy. and that just systemised the business very, very well.
So you've had a huge success at a really young age. Well, I say young. Has it been partly because of the influence of mentors as well? Has that made a difference?
Yeah, massively. Honestly, like obviously you've got to work hard, and it's. I don't want to say it's luck, but it's because you kind of you work hard and you put yourself in the right kind of situations and places, but without people helping me along the way, offering kind of free information or mentoring me or seeing something in me and deciding to JV with me, I would not be here today, and I wouldn't have done very much. It's all through forming joint ventures and other people just being willing to help you, which is nice because now I'm quite willing to kind of help other people, which is it's nice.
So you've had a success of mentors working with you, you're using property software, you've quite a diverse range of different property strategies. So what advice would you give to someone who's thinking, they're fresh to the market, they're thinking, do we go to rent to rent, do we go to JVs, service accommodations? What advice would you give to someone who's fresh?
Yeah, I think I'm in quite a good place to kind of comment on this because I am still fairly new to the property market, even though I am doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
I still remember what it was like to start. That's what I'm trying to say. And I would say it totally depends on each person's circumstances and situations and the environment and the people they've got around them. If I was just starting out and I knew no one in the property market who wasn't able to help me along my way, and I didn't have very much money, I would probably start with rent to rent. Do I personally think rent to rent is a viable long-term strategy? Probably not. I think it's great for getting someone out of a hole. If you want to replace like your job income, and you get 3, 4, 5 rent to rents, and that replaces your income, frees up your time, and then you're free to kind of pursue a strategy of assets and cash flow. That's what I think is good. Would I personally build up 10, 20, 30, 50 rent to rents? Probably not. My own personal opinion is that I think it's very high risk. You have a lot of overheads. In London, if you've got 10 rent to rents, you're talking about finding 20 grand a month overheads. To me, just the numbers are a little bit backwards for me personally, and I think it takes a lot of management systems in place. If you really want to make it work, you've got to start employing people. And for me, it's just not my thing. I know there are quite a few people out there who've got big rent-to-rent portfolios and it works for them, great. It's not my thing. But I personally think it's a great strategy to, maybe get out of a bit of a hole, replace an income and free up some time. And then I would move on to kind of acquiring assets, doing joint ventures, and that sort of thing. If you had the kind of right support environment, the right people around you, yeah, maybe do some small developments. If you didn't, I'd probably look at either HMOs, because at the moment the property market is in a situation where it's more difficult to get stuff below market value. So more often than not, you're leaving money in the deals, and maybe you've got to dump a deposit in a deal. So the trade-off for that is good cash flow. Or I'd be looking to kind of add value in places.
Yeah, Elliot, so as you can see, Elliot's got a wealth of knowledge. Now, Elliot's going to be at my Build to Rent panel on the 18th of October, I should say, in central London. So it's easy to get to, it's in central London. However, Elliot, now people may not be able to make October. How's best people connect with you? Is it through Facebook?
Yeah, there's a few ways to get in touch with me. Facebook's a good one. Just send me a message on there, or you can email me at info@highbridge-homes.co.uk. That's a good one. But Facebook's probably the easiest way. it's the quickest way for me to kind of get back to people.
So if we're going to leave the listeners with one nugget, what would you say? Yeah, you're really busy, but you must have systems in place. What is it? Excel, or is it something else which you're using really to keep your day optimum? Do you have a particular routine which you follow?
I'd say good systems and good people. You know, I've got a very good manager who's kind of like, you know, he does a lot of things and organises part of my diary, sorts a lot of things out to do with the hotel and service accommodation. You know, good people recognise good things in good people and treat them well. You know, I've got a few other staff members that really, you know, I would go absolutely mental if we didn't have these people to, you know, help with the vision. So you know, it's a bit of that, and I'd say it's a bit of just kind of, you know, some good systems. So you know, just spend the money on the software to help you out.
So just expanding on the vision, where do you see yourself going? I'm not going to say too far in the future, but let's look at the next 3 years.
It's difficult. Every time I kind of sit down and plot this out, it just kind of starts changing. I guess next year, probably going to be looking to do about 8 million GDV worth of developments, which will be a slight increase on what we're doing this year. This year is about 4 or 5 million GDV. Aiming for 7-8 million next year in terms of developments, and I do like to keep things. I kind of think, you know, if you spend the time and money on something to build something out, you know, numbers dependent, you know, refinancing and being able to pull out a lot of the money dependent, property market dependent. You know, I do like to keep most of everything that I develop out for cash flow and capital appreciation.
So I want to say huge thanks, Elliot. Huge thanks to our listeners. So if there's comments, feel free to add a comment. If, as I say, Elliot's coming onto my panel in October. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time you're going to hear Elliot as well. So do watch this space. And thanks, Elliot, and thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.